There's nothing more dangerous than the man who has no idea why God put him on the earth. But there's nothing more powerful than a man who finally discovers his purpose. In today's episode of the Superhuman Life, guys, I'm going to walk you through the 5 questions to help you unlock and discover your purpose in 2026. This is not some motivational or inspirational hype type of video. This is a tactical, proven process to help anybody that is struggling to find purpose and meaning in life step out of the ashes and step into the light and finally begin to walk in the life that God is calling each and every single one of us to live. Guys, welcome to the Superhuman Life. I'm your host and founder, Coach Frank Ridge, and I just want to open up with a moment of gratitude and let every single one of you know how incredibly grateful and what it means to me to have you joining us in this episode as we bring 2025 to a close and get ready for 2026, guys. This is an opportunity for each and every single one of us to step into the new year with direction, clarity, and purpose. Because I believe without purpose, you cannot have a mission. Without a mission, you cannot have momentum. And without momentum, you will never experience real transformation. And I believe each and every single one of you is called for something greater, called for more than the life you're currently living out and walking in right now. In the purpose with today's episode is to give you a blueprint, to give you a framework, to find that purpose and meaning in your life. And I purposely chose the word discover in how we titled this episode and how I'm going to talk about these questions and purpose today. Because I don't think purpose and meaning is about inventing something new. I think it's about discovering what God has already placed inside of you. And when you discover that purpose, it eliminates confusion. It eliminates fear. It eliminates hesitation and eliminates procrastination. Because once you know why you're walking in the purpose of your life, and once you know what that purpose is, nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, will hold you back from taking the steps necessary to bring your dreams, to bring your reality, to bring your life into existence. When a man aligns with his purpose daily, everything begins to change. His discipline increases, temptations decrease, and the decisions on what you need to do and what you don't need to do become crystal clear. Now, our purpose is directly connected to our identity. Our purpose gives us our identity. It allows us to see ourselves as the man, as the woman that God has created us to be. And if you're struggling with doing the things that you know you should be doing, chances are you're walking out of alignment with identity. You see yourselves lesser than the person God sees you as. You'll never outperform the man that you believe that you are. And that purpose, what we're talking about, what we're going to help you unlock and discover here today, will give your identity new direction. Purpose becomes the antidote to anxiety, to depression, to stagnation, to drifting, to addiction. Whatever it is you're struggling with that is holding you back, chances are you are not walking fully crystal clear and in alignment with the purpose that God has placed you here for. Now, why does this matter as we step into this new year? As we get prepared to make our plans, set our goals, set our resolutions for 2026. Because most men drift through life because they never stop and ask the question, why am I here? They let the outside world, they let teachers, they let parents, they let social media, news outlets tell them what they should and shouldn't be doing, instead of asking the question, why did God put me here? Without purpose, without meaning, you can't set a clearly defined aim. You'll have no goal. You'll have no North Star that you're working towards. And if you don't have an aim, if you don't have something that you're working towards, you can't make aligned decisions. Randomness. And what that does is it keeps you constantly living in fear, hesitation, and confusion. We've seen it with our work in men over the last 6 years, that this is what follows them into addictive cycles: porn, alcohol, drug use, escapism, because your life lacks meaningful direction. Purpose, clearly defined purpose, gives the man a reason to get out of bed every single morning. It gives him a mission bigger than temptation. It gives him a filter to make his decisions and take his actions through. And once again, as we've already stated, purpose gives the man a backbone for his identity. As I walk you through these 5 questions here, I'm going to use my life, my testimony, a decision I made 6+ years ago, and how my purpose has evolved over those last 6 years, anchoring it to each and every single one of these questions. This podcast that launched in July of 2019 was a call that I heard. At that time, it was a purpose to share a story of addiction and transformation with the world. And it led me to something even bigger, Rebuilt Recovery, which eventually became the Rebuilt Man, which has transformed the lives of over 1,700 men. And today is one of the #1 transformational programs walking guys through addiction recovery. So I want to guide you through these questions, give you a framework so that you, if you're out there struggling, if you're lacking meaning, purpose, you can have a roadmap and a plan. Because I believe that, once again, purpose is not optional for transformation. It must become the foundation. So let's get into it here today, guys. The 5 questions to ask yourself to discover your purpose in 2026. Question number 1, who do you care about? Or who do you have a heart for? Because it's my belief that every single purpose involves and is surrounded by other people. The purpose that God gives you is meant to serve others. Who do you care about? Who is pulling on your heart right now? Who do you feel compassion for? Who do you feel called to help, even if you fully don't understand or know why? Who are the people that you follow? When you make posts on social media, who are the posts that you make there to serve? Social media is a great place to start with analyzing your behavior. What type of posts do you save, share? Who do you feel emotionally moved by? For me, back in 2019, when I started sharing this podcast, it was with the hope and goal to inspire the younger version of me, the man that had no way out of addiction, the man that didn't know if he would ever fully be free. For 2.5 years, I showed up every single day and posted a video on YouTube speaking to my younger self. I cared about those men. I care about the men still today. So if you're struggling with finding aim, struggle with finding meaning and purpose, the question to ask yourself right now is, who do you care about? Whose pain do you understand at a level that makes you want to step in and help them? Question number 2, what are you passionate about? The things that you are passionate about will reveal energy inside of you. What fuels you? Oftentimes, this passion will point back to something that you struggled with. If talking about these things light you up, if helping someone in the area energizes you, that's a clue. If you were given a microphone and told to step in front of a crowd and speak at random without preparation, what would that topic be? Now, passion isn't always going to be or lead to your career, but it will reveal a portion of your calling. Now, when you combine that passion with compassion, which is your who, so who do you feel compelled to call to? Who do you feel compelled to help? What are you helping about? That's the intersection where your purpose begins to now grow. Things that I was passionate about, helping men struggling with porn, passionate about helping them with leadership, with fitness, with identity. The things that transformed my life. As an overweight, insecure kid that struggled with how he looked, I found fitness very young, and it became a passion for my life. And I could link that back to how I was able to overcome an addiction. So I was clear on my who, the younger version of me, the man that was lost and struggling. I was clear with what I wanted to help him do: conquer his fitness, rebuild his identity, step into self-leadership. There's an intersection there between who you care about and what you're passionate about. What topic, struggle, or mission stirs something deep inside of you when you speak about it? What things do you go to learn more about on your downtime? There's clues revealed everywhere around you. Question number 3, what do you do very well? What comes naturally to you? What's your gifts? What's your uniqueness that God placed inside of you? Your purpose will always be tied directly to your gifts. Some ways to find this out: ask yourself, what do people come to you for? When you get those random phone calls from people they haven't spoken to a while, what are they seeking your help with? What are they seeking your guidance with? What skills come easily to you that others feel difficult with? When your neighbor's knocking on their door asking you for help, what is it they're seeking? Think back to your younger years, your childhood. What talents did you naturally have? What things did God already place inside of your life. Some examples of these gifts could be communication. Are you the person that's always reaching out to stay in touch in your relationships? Design, whether it's graphic design, computer design, or physical room design. Leadership, when you're in a group of people, are you the one that others look at for guidance, to lead the way? Listening. Listening is a skill. It's a gift. Do people call on you just because they need somebody to speak to? Strategy, planning, teaching. Are you the one that is putting plans, organizing events, putting things together? Or encouragement, motivation, inspiration. When you're in competitive environments, when you're in teams, are you the one that are encouraging others? When you see people that are struggling, are you the one that goes to them to lift them up? There's clues revealed in every single one of these. Those are unique things that many people struggle with. They may not feel like a struggle to you, and that's a sign. Many men are already operating in their purpose without even realizing it because they minimize these things. They don't realize that the things that come natural to you come unnatural to others, and the things that come unnatural to you come natural to others. So think about it in reverse. You call on other people to do things for you. What are people calling on you for? Now, a big thing that people struggle with here, sometimes when this word purpose, it gets overused, over manifested. It doesn't mean that you have to be the CEO. You can be a part of a much bigger picture, a much bigger story here. I remember at the time of launching the podcast back in 2019, I was running a marketing agency. I was the VP of project management and sales, very fast growing company. One of the things we ran is weekly staff meetings. We had about 60 employees at the time, all across the globe. We were a virtual team. And at the time we had a young designer that was living in the Philippines, and his work was some of the best. He was a graphic designer for all of our ad copy, for all of our sales pages, landing pages with all the clients that we worked and served with. And he became a fan of the podcast, and he started listening because back in the early days, a lot of these episodes were solo, just like what we're sharing here today. And I remember him sending me a message privately that he was struggling with his purpose. Young man, father of two young boys, married at the time, and was building an incredible life for himself and his family in the Philippines. But he was struggling. He's like, Frank, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't feel fulfilled here. And I had to stop and pause and let him know that his work, what he felt was small and insignificant, but was unique in him, was being seen by millions of people every single day. Our clients were generating millions of dollars through their businesses. And it was his designs on their sales pages. It was his designs on their ad copy that were allowing these companies to succeed. See, we had to reframe these things because it was something that came so natural to him. He didn't see the significance in what he was doing. Maybe you're working in a large organization, but you feel your role is small and insignificant, but it comes natural to you. There's a purpose and meaning in that work. Your gifts plus your passion plus your heart for the people that you want to serve will bring clarity into your life. So as we wrap this one up and move on to question number 4, to give you a clear prompt here on what do you do really well, what comes natural to you, is ask yourself the questions. What do others consistently affirm about you, even if you dismiss it? Question number 4, to help you discover your purpose. What bothers you? What problem in the world do you want to fix? Oftentimes, the thing that angers you the most is directly tied to the problem that you are called to solve. You know it when you see a post on social media, when you see a headline run across the TV screen, when you overhear a conversation about something in you stirs up in a way that it doesn't in other people. It makes you emotional. What dysfunction in the world keeps you saying this has to change? What issue do you see that others are ignoring because you just can't ignore it? Oftentimes, this will become the emotional fuel that sits behind and fuels your purpose. Once again, for me, it was in 2019. It was seeing men blindly wasting their lives, seeing men losing their potential, fathers losing their family, husbands destroying their marriages. It was seeing a world in society that didn't accept the reality of the dangers of porn. It was seeing the epidemic of loneliness in men, the epidemic of depression and isolation in men. Knowing that every single man is called to something greater. It still angers and fuels me today when I walk around public and I see men that are a shell of themselves. That's the fuel that I needed in the hard, difficult times. And many of those we faced in 2025. As markets have shifted, social media algorithms have changed, we've been confronted with a lot of daily struggles. After having some incredibly prosperous and growthful years, we saw some setbacks, both on the podcast and in the Rebuilt Man. Times where I questioned, was I doing the right thing? But it's linking back to these problems that bothered me, the ones that I thought of first in the morning. What do I need to go fix today? Hearing the same repeated excuses and patterns in men, for lack of a better word, it pisses me off because they don't know what they're capable of. And I knew it. And I knew it because other people didn't get as angry as I did. That was God poking at me and pointing directly to me in the area that he is using me for. So ask yourself the question, what problem in the world breaks your heart or lights a righteous fire inside of you? Now, the fifth one here, fifth and final question to discover your purpose in 2026 is what opportunities are sitting in front of you right now? Not what opportunities are coming in the future. What opportunities are there right now? Because your purpose will be discovered through the movements that you take, the actions that you take, not in sitting and waiting for something to knock on your door. You don't need to wait for this perfect version of your calling. Start with what's sitting in front of you right now. Opportunities can look like starting something small, posting on social media, serving one person, sharing content, volunteering, taking a class, learning a skill, joining a community, or having one difficult conversation. One action will open up the next one. But what is that door that's sitting in front of you that you need to turn the handle and walk through? Going as far back as 2014, 2015, I dreamt of having a podcast. It was always something that I was feeling called to do, but I never felt the real message until I got on the other side. And then I had a story to share about overcoming addiction. Fortunate, I had friends and colleagues that were already in the space. So the opportunity was sitting there waiting. I just had to take that first step. No clue what I was doing. I don't know if I figured it out yet here today, but we've come a long way in 6 years. But it was through starting the podcast that I then felt the call to coach and lead men. I remember in the summer of 2018, writing a vision statement for what I want my life to look like. This is before episode 1 of the podcast. This is when I was in the depths of addiction. I said, I want to reach 1 million plus people with the spoken word. We've far exceeded that. I said, I want to serve X amount of communities. I want to donate X amount of dollars to nonprofits and charities. We've accomplished all of those things, but I had to take that first step. It started with me getting clear and honest with the things that I wanted, but then realizing that there was an opportunity waiting for me and I just had to reach out, open the door, and walk through it. And every step I took revealed the next door, the next door, and the next door. And there are doors that are opening for me right now and doors that will open in 2026 that I couldn't see 5 or 6 years ago, but by taking action, by asking these questions that I've shared with you today. So to know what opportunity is what step, no matter how small or insignificant it feels, that if you take it this week, will align your gifts, your passion, and your heart for people. But I want to remind you here that you are not meant to drift through life, especially in 2026. I believe God created each and every single one of us through intention with purpose. And that purpose is already inside of you. You don't need to go out and invent it. You need to discover it. And your purpose today may not be your purpose 5 or 6 years from now. It definitely isn't the case for me. So to recap and get clear on these, write these down if you haven't yet done so. Who do you care about? What are you passionate about? What do you do very, very well? What problem bothers you in the world right now? And what opportunities are sitting and waiting in front of you? I encourage you to spend some time this week journaling, reflecting upon these questions. And as we bring this episode to a close, I want to speak directly to each and every single one of you listening or watching right now. You're here for a reason. Whether you feel like you're operating from it right now, God put you here for a purpose. He gave you uniqueness. He gave you gifts. He doesn't want you to waste them. No matter what's happened in the past, no matter what you're going through right now, none of that disqualifies you from stepping into this purpose. 2026 can be the year that you finally step into the life the man, the mission, the purpose that God has created you for. 5 questions, guys. Simple. If you got value, if this episode spoke to you in a way, please share it. Rate, review, subscribe. And I don't ask you guys all the time to reach out to me privately. Connect with me on Instagram, Coach Frank Rich. Share with me your purpose for 2026. Tag me in a post, send me a direct message. Guys, but we got some big things coming here in the future. 26 is going to be a year unlike any of the years prior. And I'm excited to have you guys on the journey with us. So let's bring this year to a close strong. Stop operating from drifting, and let's start operating from a place of alignment and intention. I love you guys.